Okay, guys, how you doing? It's your boy Bitcoin Rodney coming to you guys straight out of LA today, and I want to welcome you guys to important people that I'm working with. One is but goes by the name of Jeremy Engel. Jeremy, why don't you go ahead and explain to everybody who you are, what are you doing, and what part you play in this particular opportunity.
Right on. Well, thanks, Bitcoin. It's been a lot of fun working together, man. Kindred spirits, and I've really enjoyed it, man. Hey, everybody. Appreciate you cutting out the time to be on here. Again, I'm Jeremy Engel. I hail from Wyoming. There's more cows than people out there, but I got on the entrepreneurial roller coaster and have been having a blast ever since. I started in the software startup space, but there's a lot of headaches that go with running a business with a 360 approach. But I've worked on the corporate side, helping grow sales teams, and the last company I was the vice president with, I helped grow it from 3 to 100 million. But I really enjoy just interacting with people, and I love this business. I love the residual. And, I had a look at this, working on another venture, got to meet directly with David and, get the view from the top. Know Bob McNulty as well from some previous businesses, and the guy's a winner. He's positioned to win. And I love what the company's doing. I mean, a disruptor disrupting the disruptors. It's just huge. When I looked at this, I mean, I already had a full plate, a lot of stuff happening, a lot of great opportunities. It was just kind of at the point, it's like, wow. It was something I just couldn't say no to. With all the great opportunities and all the things that we're working on, I just said, you know what? Let's rally the team and let's roll, because this is going to be really, really big. We got awesome positioning, working together with Rodney. I mean, you absolutely cannot get better positioning, and you guys on the line here are going to benefit from that with the spillover. So that's kind of what I saw in this. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to support you to the 10th degree, guys, and we're gonna have a good time. I like getting in the trenches, and I like just me and my boy Rodney. We have a good time.
No question about it, man. I really enjoy working with Jeremy. Jeremy is a pure D beast. He's, as you can see, he's a pretty boy from California. He makes big things happen. Look at the curly hair and all that. An exciting player, and he brings a lot to the table. And we came together to say, hey, we got to get together with David and get a lot of these questions answered so that we can move forward and start building a tremendous income with the teams that we have. And a lot of the people out there are seeing all kinds of things out there on the internet, and they don't know what's true, what's hot, what's not. So what we're doing here is we have the CMO, or co-founder of the actual company, Tryp, David Moto, who actually built the comp plan himself, period. And he's partners with the owner, what's his name again? Bob McNulty, Jeremy?
That's correct, yep.
Okay, cool. So guys, get your thinking caps on, get your paper and pencil, turn your phone off or down or on vibrate. And we're gonna bring on David Moto, and he'll be able to break this thing down and get you guys a more clarification of what you gotta do moving forward. Get all your answers, all your questions answered, so that you feel better about making a better decision. So let me bring him on, and he can introduce his own self. And let me see how to do this.
Right on. As you're doing that, I'm going to throw in another 10 cents here, Rodney.
Go ahead.
Me and yourself have been in the trenches. We've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. We know the comp plans drive behavior. And yeah. I personally, and I know the same for you, you're not going to touch a comp plan that, number one, there isn't big money potential in working, and you can work together in a team and build harmony. And I've seen a lot of comp plans. I've actually helped design a lot of comp plans, and I'm in love with this one. And even more than that, I'm in love with the timing. So you guys can rest assured that we really picked through it to find a winner for you.
No question about it. David, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Actually, I'm trying to. I don't know why my camera is not working, but I guess I'll have to go without camera.
Man, no problem. Let me see if I can get Jeremy's face up here for a second. Okay. Number one, hey, Jeremy, do me a favor while you get a chance. Give a quick overview what Tryp is, just so they know before we go into it, into the Q&A of the comp plan. That'll give David time to get his stuff together on his side as well.
Yeah, 100. Okay, so what is Tryp, guys? Really, it's just it's the new kid on the block in the rideshare space. Now, I think it's so important when you're setting up a company to have an environment where everybody can win. And I know that's kind of a burned out cliche, but these guys have found a great way to do it. Sometimes when you see companies scale, they come out with a great idea, but then the corporations just start getting greedy and it starts getting watered down to something that, wasn't what it was and when it started. But what I love about Tryp is, for the writers, they're incentivized to share the app because the writer can actually get some income themselves just by sharing the app. You can't do that with Uber or Lyft, number one. So they've created an environment that's better for everybody. And in Tryp, we got a couple entities, guys. We have riders, we have drivers, we have influencers, and then a fourth category is a driver and influencer. So let's kind of just start from the high level. I mean, they've set it up where the riders win, the drivers win, the influencers win. That's probably a lot of the people on the line. And then also they've created an environment where you can actually get stock options. The drivers can get stock options. So they're actually building the company with the corporate entity. And I think that's really huge. There's a lot of things that this does that really differentiates it, sets it apart from the competitors in the space. And what I love about the team on the corporate side is they really do listen. They listen, and that's so important to be connected with your user base, with your driver base, and to be looked on as a true partner. I know that's important for me. So they're really set in position to disrupt the space. Even the first month, I mean, we've had tremendous amount of enrollments here in the first month. It's crazy. So that's what it is, guys. It's a disruptor to disrupt Uber and Lyft. They've really got their stuff together in terms of marketing collateral and just a presence out there, and it's going to be really cool. So I don't want to keep talking right over the top of David. We got the main man on the line. I love my mic time, but nobody can break it down to you a little better than he can. So, David, you tell me when you're ready to roll, bro.
Yeah, I'm ready. I could not connect it, but it's all right. You guys can see my screen, right? I'm trying to share my screen now.
There you go, bro. You're good to go, man. Make it happen.
Rock and roll.
Do you guys see it or no? My screen?
Yes, we see it.
Perfect. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, it's that simple. What Jeremy said is exactly what it is. We really were looking towards making a concept that's good for everybody, but also very simple to explain. Right? That's the goal of everything that we do here, because I find, I've been, exposed to a lot of opportunities, obviously in the past, as all of you here. And, I've spent, sometimes, days just trying to understand how really you get paid, because things are so complicated. So that was definitely one thing that I was looking forward to as far as making it here. It's that anybody and everybody can understand and explain to people. And remember, right, our main customer, our main member, if you will, is the driver, right? The driver is the driving force, right, of this, and we need them. And most of them are not professional salespeople, right? So it needed to be something that they can easily, explain to, people as they encounter them. So summarizing what Jeremy just said, there's 4 ways that you can earn here. The first one is by sharing the app, which everybody participates on. You don't have to be an influencer. You don't have to be a driver. Or essentially, by you downloading the app, you can participate in this as well, which is you share the app, and we'll explain that a little bit. You make money every time you refer users to service. The second one is a driver referral bonus. We pay a one-time fee, bonus for recruiting drivers. There's the weekly residual parts of it, and there's rank achievement parts of it. So let's go into all of them. So here's an example, right? How can you earn from the app? So essentially, let's say that you are here, right? And let's just put you on a driver situation. Let's say you right now currently drive for Uber and Lyft, okay? And hold on one second here. I lost something here. Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay. So anyway, so let's say you drive for Uber and Lyft, and you have the passenger in your back seat, right? It's super easy for you to reach out to them. Well, what you would do is this. Let's say you share the app with one of those people. It doesn't have to be them. I'm just giving that example here for argument's sake. But over time, you share with 250 people. So remember what I said earlier? I don't know if I said this in another call, but there's some studies that shows that the average active user will use the service at least 3 times a month, okay? But let's say in this case over here, you shared with those people, and they used it for twice a month, right? So 250 people would be equivalent to 500 rides. We pay you 40 cents per ride. That comes in reward points that converts into dollars. and that would be $200 a month. So why this example here? Because I just wanted to show you how easy it is for a driver without recruiting really other drivers can have their membership paid for, because our membership is $200 a month for the driver, right? It's really, but hey, I've talked to drivers before where they've had, the last few years between the two companies, about 12, 13, 15,000, people getting their cars. And once they do the math, they're like, oh my God, I can refer 10,000 people to this. And then you can just do the math at that point and see how much you can make just from referring riders. So the second way you can get paid.
And if we can, hey, David, I just want to go into a little bit more of the value proposition for the rider as well. I mean, right. It's also better for the rider in that there's no surge pricing.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I apologize. We're going to talk about that. Yeah. So not only, there's a few things here that are left out. I apologize for that. If you are a rider, okay, every time you use it, you get paid 10 cents. Okay. So just by you using the service. Now, again, when you share it and somebody uses, you get paid. But on top of that, our app will have no surge pricing, right? So that is a big deal. If you are an active user, you know how much it costs. I mean, Ronnie can probably testify to it. If you're anytime, on peak hour, they can charge you up to, 6 times more. I've seen even more than that. So that alone, right, it's a huge benefit for the user. Also, I'll talk about this as well right now, but our drivers, they're gonna have to go through, a crazy background check, make sure that they're, legitimate people in their cars. So our goal not only is to make people make money, but provide a safer, more reliable ride for the users as well. So, and that's gonna be how we'll do everything we can to position that message out there so that the masses can come and try Tryp out. Try Tryp out. That kind of sounded weird, huh? Anyway, so yeah,
that's awesome. Tell me a little bit more about the reward points. On your referrals rides and that too. I just kind of want to drill into the value proposition for each of those entities a little bit more.
Yeah, no problem. Well, so the referral ride goes like that, right? For every ride you get, you personally take, you get 25 points. Okay, that's how it's going to display. And every time your referral uses it, you get 100 points, right? So that being said, but they have an actual value, which the value is 40 cents for somebody who, when the referral uses it, and 10 cents when you use it. As people are using the service and accumulating rewards from the referrals, they will be able to even redeem into cash, right? So the first threshold is about 1,000 points. Once you have 1,000 points, you can start redeeming that to a partial or full ride, if it should be enough for a full ride even. Once you have enough that it's about $25, you can actually just hit a button. We'll send you cash to your bank account. No questions asked. Obviously, I'm looking into some potential partnerships with restaurants and events and things like that to maybe even try to double that reward once you're ready to redeem it. So it's pretty straightforward. I do have some budgets in place to really take care of the passengers themselves, right? We have budgets for promotions, budgets for, I want to do something called, take a trip on us, which, we'll be picking, average users that are using the service often and, send them on a trip and things like that. So just our name alone creates so many variations of possibilities here that we can do some cool things for the users. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right on. So what if you're real comfortable with a certain driver? He's kind of your go-to guy. Do you have the ability to kind of select who you want to drive with as well?
Yeah, 100%. So the app, some of the features of the app that we'll be rolling out is this: if you are a passenger, right? And let's say Jeremy's, is my driver, and I really, get along with him. Like, yeah, right now, if you use the service, you've probably had that time where you're like, man, I wish this guy was my driver all the time. And within the app, you'll be able to have your preferred drivers, your favorite drivers. And at any time you want to go somewhere, you can have your list of people that you like, you enjoy, and you hit them up, see if they're available, if they're around you, and use them. In the near future as well, the drivers will have their own page, that almost like a Facebook page, so that they can have their profile there. They'll have a schedule ride button there. so that anybody can just find them, you know, and request with them direct. Remember that we're very different in that essence from Uber and Lyft and any other company out there because of that. We are just a software for the driver. So our goal is to empower the driver with every tool possible, right, to allow them to really build a business, right? That's the whole goal here. The drivers are actually their business owner, and we want to take care of them as much as possible. And obviously, like I said, take care of the riders as well so that they feel safe and have a better proposition when they need to get to point A to point B. Good stuff?
Great stuff.
Keep those questions coming. You know, I don't know who's on the call, so if there's anything that I'm leaving out, please ask me, and we'll go over into all of them.
Okay, hey, David, I don't want to interrupt too much because I know your time is very, very valuable. But most people want to know, can people sell this or market this internationally, or can it be done internationally or in Canada, or is it just USA? A lot of the members want to know, can they get other referrals from outside the USA, or, you know, how does that part work, or if any, is that possible?
Yeah, so we are focused on the USA only right now.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot to be done here before we go international, but we do plan, you know, on being international, but we have to do things right here first, right? So probably 2020, we might be expanding. Probably Canada will be the first one. We will open up opportunity for affiliates that are outside of the country to market here, right? So let's say we know there's some leaders in Canada, for example, they have huge networks here in the US, right? So we're working on an ability to not only allow them to pay for their influencer membership being outside of the country, but also getting paid the commissions outside of the country. So that's in the works right now. I would say about 4 to 6 weeks before it's live.
All right, cool, great. Now go ahead and move on. I didn't want to interrupt you because you're doing so well. So keep it moving.
Feel free. I have here another, at least 40 minutes with you guys. So.
All right, cool. Great, let's do it.
Go over everything. All right, so finally here, the second one is the first order bonus. And how do you get paid on this one? It's $50. And by the way, you have to be the first one I showed you. Everybody qualifies for. To qualify for this and moving forward, you have to be an influencer. Okay, so you have to purchase the influencer sign up. So anyway, let's say you're on the top there, and you brought driver 1, 2, and 3, and there's no limit, by the way. But every driver you bring on board, they pay their initial fee. You get paid $50 referral from that. It's a one-time fee. Okay. Now, after that one, we have the residual ranks. Okay, weekly residual ranks, in fact. And how it goes is like that. So the minute you have those 3 that we showed in the previous example, you made $50 per person, right? But also now you qualified for $200 for that month, okay, which we pay you weekly. So that being said, you can see on the example right there, you make $200 that month. Now, once your team, right, it doesn't have to be you personally. Let's say you have a team of influencers or drivers working with you, and they also going out there and helping us build a business. The minute you have 10 drivers, you get bumped up to the next rank, which is the pro, and you get $600 a month, again, paid weekly for 4 weeks. Now, the next up is 24 drivers. You qualify for $1,000 a month. The next up is 60 drivers. You get $2,000 a month. The next up is 180 drivers. You get $5,000 a month. 4,000. I mean, this is insane. 400 drivers pays you $10,000 a month. Okay. I mean, if you do, we'll show you an example later, but it's not hard if you have a hot product that makes sense, people get it, and you have a team with you, including spillover, the whole 9 yards that happens here. By the way, all spillovers count for this to get to 400 people, right? You guys can all, probably a lot of you here in the call have done this before. Maybe harder in other, options, because if you're selling lotions and potions, it's a harder sell. But here, people have to get to point A to point B, right? So I believe we're going to have a lot of people making $10,000 a month here with us. But the next level up is $1,000. 1,000 drivers pays you $25,000. 2,000 drivers pays you $50,000 a month. 4,000 drivers pays you $100,000 a month. So let's stay here real quick for a minute, okay? And why do I want to talk about this one? Because I was just on a call again right previous to getting here, and some people was asking me, so how many drivers do you need to open up a city? Okay, right now we have approvals, I believe, in 6 states. And there's maybe 15 to 20 cities in those states that we plan on launching, and there's more coming every week now. Now that we're getting, we've got the ball rolling here. So, but there's no drivers and no riders. I mean, no rides being taking place right now. Why? Because we don't have enough drivers. So our game plan is this. That's why we're making this available, so that people anywhere in the country can start pre-registering drivers. And the minute we have enough drivers in that spot, we will start taking rides. So why do I stop here? Because average, we're going to need about 4,000 people on each city, right? On each market, right? What I mean by city and markets, because let's say LA, I mean, LA is surrounding little cities around it. So let's say somebody here is in Oregon, which we just got licensed in Oregon as well. So think about this. Let's say you decide, you put your finger on the map, you're like, hey, I'm going to go open up Oregon, right? And you go to Oregon, and from nothing, you build a team of 4,000 people there. And this could happen, in 3, 4, 5, 6 months. You never know. Not only are you making money while you're doing that, but look at what happens once you have that market open. I mean, it's $100,000 a month. That's a pretty decent paycheck, right? Just for opening the market. So a lot of visionary people that are coming on board, they are seeing this, and they're just decided to champion some cities. And I can see a lot of you guys being the leader in specific markets, and having that kind of payday here going on. But more importantly, right, you're putting 4,000 people to work. You follow me? So yes, we compensate you very handsomely for helping us, but you got to look at the big picture. You're putting people to work, right? That's the most exciting part of this all for me, is that we'll have people all over the country, hopefully, worldwide eventually, that their lives could be changed by the amount of money they can be making by operating their own business through our softwares. But then the next up is 12,000 drivers. You get paid $250,000 a month. And then the next final one is 24,000 drivers, pays you $500,000 a month. But let's recap here that part that I say that pays you weekly, right? If you do the math, $500,000 times 12 is $6 million, right? But because you get paid $125,000 weekly, you actually get an extra $500,000 in that year just because of paying weekly. So really exciting, guys. There is one rule here, is that you have to have your team balanced out, right? You have to be, for example, it's 24,000 people. They have to be balanced among 3 teams. So it's very important that you proper position your people when you're doing that. Give me 1 second. I have to check something here.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, sorry about that, guys. I'm back. I just had to reply to my partner here real quick. All right, so here's a summary again. If you guys needed to kind of see it again, how easy it is to go from 3 to 24,000 people. All you need is put in the work, and you get there. Any questions on this side so far before I move forward?
So let me ask you another question there, David. I got some notes here. Number 1, to become an influencer, to achieve the ranks that you just showed us just now, what does one need to pay just to do this part right here?
$150 a year, believe it or not.
100? Did you say $150 a year?
That's it.
That is it. It needs $150 per year, and so that's one part of income. And then you can have the free app download and share the app with everyone, and earn what? 40 cents per ride, or what was that?
40 cents per ride.
Yeah, he earns 40 cents per ride. So a person who has a big influence on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat can get the app and then start to blast his app to his whole community of people. They download the app, and once they download the app and use the app, he now receives 40 cents per ride, and all he did was download the app. He didn't pay no money. He just downloaded the app and got paid. That correct?
That is absolutely correct.
So you're not bull jiving me here, right? So people can get paid without putting any money up, if they had a big market. I want to make this clear. And by the way, before we go any further, David, let everyone on here know who you are in conjunction to the leadership or ownership of this company, so they know who is talking.
Yeah, well, I was actually one of the founders. I'm one of the founders of the company. A lot of everything you see, my hands is on it. I work with Bob directly for quite some time on other businesses as well. Nothing like this, just a traditional business. And when he had the idea of creating something in the rideshare industry through a membership base, then he called me and said, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And both of us started taking a lot of rides with Uber and Lyft, and really surveying the drivers, really trying to understand, what the pain points were. And we're like, man, there's definitely some room here to make like Jeremy said, to disrupt the disruptors. And from that point on, he offered me a partnership, and that's why I wanted to help design the program. And that's ever since I jumped in heads on, and it's been a year now, and it feels like it was 3 days, but it's exciting. It's exciting as it gets. I am fully committed to this vision. I have always owned several businesses, and right now I put everything on hold, and I'm 1,000% focused on making Tryp a success.
Super cool. Jeremy, you want to add anything to this?
No, we just had another question come in. I think it's a great one from Christina. What's up, Christina? The question was, David, is Tryp officially launched yet? And maybe you can go in a little bit more about the timelines and which markets are kind of trending to be the first markets that are going to be open so far.
Yeah, great question. So, yeah, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
And you did say the 4,000, I think, do you guys kind of have a hard number per market? If somebody can kind of set a benchmark to get in there, they want to be a pioneer and really crush it in a new market. What's your criteria around all that?
Yeah, great question. So the answering the first thing, we're launching in 3 phases. Okay. Right now we're in a soft launch mode. Okay. It's tuning up the systems, working out the kinks, making decisions on what we should do or we should not do as far as moving forward with technology, especially for the affiliate side. So we're building new things in the back end. We needed to get started, right? There's a saying in tech world that if you're waiting for everything to be perfect to launch your tech product, you waited too long, you'll pass an opportunity. So we wanted to get out there and start creating the buzz around it while, perfecting and improving everything. So, but we've been very clear with that. Hey, we're going to do a soft launch right now because, believe it or not, before we even had our website up, the word got out of what we were doing, and we already had 5,000 to 10,000 people knocking on the door. Please let us register, right? So we had to make some adjustments on our timeline just so that people, could see us, right? We were a little bit forced into not, let's say premature, but advancing a little bit of the soft launch phase. But again, be very clear with everybody, we're soft launching right now. So once the app is out, okay, fully out, that's when our pre-launch is going to start, right? And we'll be on that phase for, about 3 months or so, I suspect. But taking rides and all that, but again, right, it's still a pre-launch because we have to adjust things, right? Things, you don't, snap your finger and things are perfect overnight. Anybody who here is being tech, you know that. And then we'll do a full launch event sometime before summer. That's our goal. Once we have cities all functioning, worked out the kinks on everything. And again, we're creating a new business model, right? So, and that's why we're being very honest and transparent with people. This is the phases we're launching so that, the expectations are right and people obviously, hopefully are patient with us as we are working things out here. So that answers one of your questions, correct? So the other question was hard number for markets. So we'll know more of the specific hard numbers as we get these markets opened. But the easy answer is between 3,000 to 5,000 people. Make sense? On pretty much any market we'll do. So, a lot of people ask me that, give me the hard number, but it's going to be, that's why I showed you the 4,000, because between 3 and 5 is 4, right? And if you shoot for 4,000, hey, you're making $100 million, $100,000 a month by championing that market. So how we're going to open markets? Go ahead.
So yeah, great. Appreciate that. Now you're talking about drivers, right? But
Drivers.
now we kind of went on top of that question. So people are saying, when should I sign up?
When you see when should you sign up? Was it a
Yeah,
question?
when should that was the question. Yep.
Yep. Well, I mean, you can sign up now. We have everybody comes into the free member, right? So because you'll be able to get the app. So, but also have an option to upgrade to become an influencer right now. You have an option to become a driver influencer right now as well, and start positioning yourself, start setting up, going through the process, be some of the first drivers in that market. There's a lot of advantage of being first. Yes, you have to have that leap of faith and believe a little bit, but also you are the first one in your market, right? So I think remember here, right? If you are a driver, I mean, think about the book of business that you can build by being some of the first drivers in that market. Even though we haven't launched that market yet, every single person you put in the system is connected to you. So not only you get paid once, every time they use it in the future. So I'm talking about riders, but also now you can start creating that relationship, which again, what I'm telling you right now, maybe, some of you guys don't relate because you're not a driver, but any pro driver, they're doing this on a full-time basis right now with any other company, they are trying to build their own book of business on the side because they know that the companies are every day taking more money out of them, right? So they try to make relationships with people that are regulars so that they can just call them direct and pay them cash. You follow me? That is just something that happens, is the way it is. So we're fixing that, right? With our app, you'll be able to have your own book of business that people that, I mean, if you potentially have your own schedule of driving, right? So there's a lot of advantage of being first. Also, if you are just a driver, we have a program for the driver alone who does not want to be an influencer. Okay, this is somebody who just wants to drive. But if he does refer 3 people who are drivers, they have a free membership with us. So think about it. If you're a driver, you come in right now, you can care less about being an influencer, and but a few people who drive, right? Just because people who do something knows people in the same industry. If they come in and they join, it doesn't have to be now, but eventually when the market's opened and they start paying their membership, you now have to pay your membership yourself. So again, another advantage of being first, right? But if you will be a driver influencer, okay, the driver influencers, they do not get a free membership. Why? Because they are making commissions from the influencer side, correct? But right. there is a special bonus for people who are driver influencers, which are stock options, which you mentioned prior, okay? So the stock options for people who come in the first 90 days, for example, they will have a more robust stock option than people that come in, 6 months from now, right? So we call them the Founders Club. So that being said, I mean, you'll be able to earn stock options by you signing up, you'll be able to earn the stock options. By you referring drivers, you'll be able to earn stock options. By you giving rides, you'll be able to earn stock options. By sharing the app, you'll be able to earn stock options. By getting positive reviews, you'll be able to get stock options. And we're even going to be we're thinking about that right now, how we're going to strategize it. I don't know if I said this here. Again, I apologize because I've been on calls, so I don't know what I said on each call, but we're developing something right now that we call Tryp Go, okay? Tryp Go will be the center in this marketplaces where people can come to for questions and, check out the vehicle. It will be like very modern type things, almost like, hopefully like an Apple store. That's kind of what we, look and feel, and but more of like a social place, right? We have computers there so people can come and see presentations. They can participate in the Tryp Academy, which is something I want to tell you right now. We're developing a Tryp Academy, which are being built right now by professional rideshare drivers. Everything that the driver needs to know to perfect their business, even tax tips. I mean, you name it. Anything you need to be successful in rideshare business, run your own business, we're going to give that for free to the people, right? Okay. And we're even thinking, again, I was saying earlier, to find a way for people to earn stock options even for taking the course. Because again, our goal, right, is that everybody and anybody who wants to wear the jersey and go out there and help us not only grow the business, but also be the best version of rideshare they can be, we'll want to make sure that these people are taken care of, right, as we are successful. So very exciting things, So again, all of these are benefits of being first, but you don't have to.
I'm going to add something onto that for you, David. And that was a great question, and we appreciate it. But I'm going to add something onto that. If you're a marketer, if you spent some time in the space and you know comp plans, there is a significant benefit to this specific comp plan, considering where all you guys are going to be. You're going to be so far up towards the top. There's going to be some pretty tremendous spillover when Tryp goes into a new market. And they have enough riders, that 4,000 mark. Maybe just super quick. I know we're already narrowing in on time, and I want to get to the meat and potatoes, David. But real quick, I mean, there is going to be a marketing strategy for mass market adoption as well. And can you kind of talk about that, and that, you know, people that are kind of at the beginning, that's an additional but huge benefit. They're going to benefit from some of that spillover.
100%. We will be doing, again, traditional marketing, a lot of online marketing. That's one of my expertise. I mean, we know how to do some growth hacking things that are just phenomenal, and we're going to be using that very heavily. You know, there was big chances that right now, in fact, that there's some people in the company that they're reps, and they're putting together a infomercial that will be going out on, you know, news outlets. I mean, not news outlets, but you know, in TV all over the country. So, but the goal, obviously, it's if people really understand what we're doing. The fact that we are allowing people to pre-register in specific markets, right, and we'll be launching market by market, it really helps us, right? It helps us in many ways. First of all, there's people here probably from all over the country that can focus their energy in one market, right, and create momentum, which we all know the momentum moves things, right? So it won't be that hard to open markets because of that, because there will be people putting momentum, you know, together, right, towards it. But also, it allows us to strategically spend our marketing dollars, right? So instead of just doing a national campaign all over the place, we can focus that, you know, in that month or whatever that period of time, all marketing dollars towards one specific spot, right? So that's very interesting because it allows us to just go in and dominate and spend more. I mean, spend less and get way more. Let's put it that way. And hence, you know, our marketing budgets could triple, you know, if you really look at the numbers like that. So remember that our reward points, right, could also function for a lot of strategic partnerships in those markets, right? So think about if I were you and you have this kind of relationships, I would be looking towards, you know, hotels in those areas, you know, sport teams, I mean, stores, I mean, you name it. Because think about it. Anybody who has a customer, right, restaurants, you name it, I mean, they could benefit from sharing this app because they already have a customer base. You follow me? I mean, I used to own a restaurant and till not long ago, and average restaurants, I mean, small restaurants will have a couple thousand, you know, loyal people. They'll come in on a month. So think about that, right? That restaurant gives out 2,000 apps, and those people are taking rides. They're making money.
Okay, cool. Really appreciate that. There's two other questions. I'm just going to answer directly. We kind of want to focus this talk, guys, kind of on the compensation structure. Am I correct, Rodney? That's what we want to stick with. Right on. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we kind of want to get to the nuts and bolts of the comp plan. We'll keep on moving. A question from Otis was, will the marketing material be available? It already is, my friend. So we can help get that to you as soon as you get yourself signed up. Will Tryp Go be corporate run? Correct me if I'm wrong, David, but it's going to be kind of a hybrid between field leaders and corporate. And, you know, we've even started having those beginning conversations with Bitcoin Rodney there in the DC area. So
I agree with you 100%. We the first ones, they're going to be corporate just because we need to design them properly, make sure, you know, we have what we want and it is representing Tryp right. And from that guide, we'll be able to open up for people that want to own, maybe, you know, be the head of a Tryp Go in their local markets. And, you know, we'll decide how that's going to go. But we do plan on doing that. And that person would actually own an override over that market. So it's phenomenal. I mean, that could be, I mean, $500,000 a year extra for somebody. So obviously it has to be the right person, right? We want to have almost like that McDonald's university kind of style so that people go through and they have to really qualify to be representing Tryp like that in the market. But our goal is exactly that, allow people that are helping us build this participate in that as well.
Hey, David, let me throw this in there right quick. So let's differentiate why Tryp is more important than the other two that are out there, or many others. Um, the driver is able to receive 100% of the commission, 100% of the tips as well. Is that the reason why? And the fares are lower than the other two as well, with no surge. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct. In our case, we're software as a service for the driver, right? So the driver is the business, right? We don't touch their money. We do collect the fees necessary, right? For example, airport fees. I mean, if we don't collect some of the fees that's needed, the driver's gonna have to go out and pay the airport and get their own licenses and whatnot, right? So we take care of things like that. That's like, for example, New Orleans and Seattle, if I'm not mistaken, they charge per ride a fee, right? So, and we take care of that for them. So there's, although they get their own merchant account, we do a split so that fee goes to the user, but we take care of it. We collect it, we pay, the CD for them. So so it's not like they're coming in here and they're gonna have to now learn how to build a rideshare business. We're taking care of the hard work. They just come in and do the work. Make sense? And but yes, they get 100% of the fares and everything else. Wait time, cancellation fees, we don't touch anything.
Most times when you see the other two, and they pull up in front of you to pick you up, they have a little sign that glows in the dark. It's in the car. It says Uber or it says Lyft.
Yeah.
When someone signs up as a actual driver, will they be receiving that same type of little device that goes in the car to differentiate themselves from the others?
Yeah, 100%. We're already working on the first version of something with illuminated like that. Very cool. And they will be picking them up at the Tryp Go centers.
Got it. Now, the price point here. So first we got the free part, where you can just share the app and make money. Then we have the influencer, which is $150 a year, and you can earn approximately around $50 weekly to $125,000 weekly.
Right.
And that's $150 a year. And the next part is?
And well, the next part is a driver, right? You have the driver who does not earn commissions, but they can share the app and they can obviously drive and do it all. And then we have the driver influencer, who is somebody who decides to not only drive, but also help us promote it. But here's something cool that I want to make sure you guys understand, right? About the reason why I made it so that everybody comes in as a free member, but they are connected to you. So let's say look at how the scenarios could happen, right? So let's say you are an influencer, okay? And you send out the app for free, right? For thousands of people or through somebody. So let's say you made, brought in a concierge at a, busy hotel, and that person gave out 10,000 apps, an example. Well, all those people are still connected to you. So let's say that, out of those 10,000 people, as a hypothetical example, these people start seeing, Tryp marketing within the app. We're going to always be, just like Uber and Lyft. I mean, every app out there is always telling people, hey, become a driver. Hey, we're going to do that as well. And somebody decides to upgrade and become a driver because they lost their job or anything like that. Guess what? That person counts for you. Make sense? So sharing the app and the way it's connected, it's so powerful because you might be like a few months from now and you start seeing all these people upgrading your team. You don't even know where it came from, but it could potentially be just riders that decided to, do a side hustle for a minute. So very exciting on that too. But again, so revising what you just said, we have 4 types of members. We have the free member. We'll go over that in a minute here again. We have the driver, we have the influencer, we have the driver influencer. Okay? All unique in the system. So, but if you're done with questions on this side, there's a few more compensations that you get as well. So let me do
Go ahead, move on, please.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, let me click on this. Hold on 1 second here. It's trying to draw in here. All right. So here's a cool, this is an example that I forgot to show you guys. So hypothetically how this could work. You come in, you refer 3 people only, right? You got $50 per person, but now you also make $50 a week. And let's say those 3 people let's just say they're not influencers, okay? Let's say they're just drivers, right? They're drivers, and they go out there, and each one recruits 3 drivers just so they could have a free membership, right? But now you have 12 people in your team, right? How much are you making? Now you make 150 a month, even though you didn't personally recruit all of them. So on to the next level, 27 people total added to your team. You start making 250 a week. Next level, another 81 added to your team. Just assuming that people are referring 3 people, right? That everybody's just focusing on 3. That's it. 81 people added. Now you're at $500 a week. You're actually above it, right? So those numbers are not the numbers. This is just how it would play out. But you remember the numbers were the previous screen. When you have that many people over there, you already surpassed what you needed. You're making $1,250 a week. And in this example right here, you're making $6,250 a week. And again, these numbers are way more than what you need, but it's just how it would play out if everybody's referring 3 people. Obviously, you will lose some in the midst because some people are just drivers. Now they got a free membership. Now they don't count anymore or whatnot. But just by really pushing that out there, hey, refer 3 years is free, right? Your team will grow like crazy.
Hold on, I want to clarify something real quick here, David.
Go ahead.
Let's say I'm an influencer. I'm not a driver, and I've got 3 drivers, direct to me. So I know when you're a driver and you got 3 people frontline, then you're getting your service for free. So how does that work in the case you're not a driver, but you have 3 drivers under you? Would it be this?
No. Well, now you're earning $200 a month.
So it's cash instead of the service. Just
yeah. Exactly. Yes.
We had another question I think is relevant. What happens if some of those drivers don't work the next month? I think this question is coming from compression. How is compression handled in the comp plan? Let's say you have an inactive driver for a month. That's a great question too. How long can they be inactive before they might lose a downline or something like that? What are the rules?
Well, we don't delete anybody. They just convert into a rider. Make sense? So they stay in your system, but they're just a rider at that point.
After how long?
Well, whatever month they don't pay, right? They become a rider at that point.
Okay. Do they have a grace period? I mean, 3 days
well,
or if it
yes, exactly. I mean, well, great question, but yes, I mean, just like any other company, right? If the payment fails for 2-3 times, we're reaching out to them, and if there's no response, then we'll just downgrade them at that point. But we'll do everything we can to get the payment in. It's up to financing. I mean, I would assume maybe 7 days, grace period.
I don't hear you good. No good.
But it has to be before the pay run is ran from that driver. Make sense?
Before the next pay cycle.
Yeah. So
okay.
I would assume 7 days max, just because we're on a weekly basis.
You said 7 days max?
Yeah, because we pay on a weekly basis, right? So that week, that driver has to.
I'm trying to get her to get my birth certificate and Social Security.
Hey guys, please mute yourselves. We can hear you talking about your birth certificate. Hey, so David, so can a person come back and be a driver after they've been
pay for it and mail it to me?
Down to a driver or rider?
Yeah, maybe you want to mute that person. He's giving you Social Security.
You got him? Thanks.
Yeah, at any time. So essentially, the minute you make your payment again, boom, you're activated back as a driver. Now that person counts for your team. So we don't delete anybody. Remember, everybody comes in for free. So you're still building your team of free people. Make sense? It would just be a fluctuation of people either paid or not on that month.
I got you. So just to make it crystal clear for everybody, David, let's say I'm a driver. I don't know. I go on vacation. Something happens to my card. The payment doesn't go through. I miss that 7-day window. I get back from my vacation maybe a month later, and I'm like, oh, crap. And then I go ahead and get a new credit card in there. In that case, would I lose my downline at that point?
No, you don't lose it. You just lost that driver, but it might not even hurt you because let's say
if I am that driver, it's a very important distinction for
Oh
folks.
yeah, you don't lose a downline. I mean, you have to be an influencer, right? Your influencer, right? Let's say we'll have documentation on that. The driver really doesn't matter so much. What matters is the influencer to get paid, right? If we're talking about payments out, it's once a year. You better make sure that activation is there, right? And we'll give you, grace period and all. But if it goes like a couple of months over, I'll ask legal on how that goes for influencer wise. But as far as driver goes, you understand what I'm saying, right? Driver goes. I mean, if you are the influencer, right, and you brought in a driver, and that driver, you have a total of 10 drivers. Let's give us a real scenario, okay?
Actually, we were kind of asking the question in the terms of if I was a driver. So we just know how, sometimes somebody steals your credit card, it doesn't go through, you change your billing address. I'm a driver. Let's just say I'm a driver. Yeah. I lose my, something happens to my credit card. The billing doesn't go through. I catch it past that 7 days you're referring to. Maybe it's a month later. Yeah. And I have already built a downline as a driver. I'm gonna get that downline back again?
But remember, you're a driver influencer at that point, right? Because the driver doesn't make commissions. Remember, right. The driver, all he gets is a free membership. He has 3 people paying. So that's the part that we have to distinct, gotcha. Right? Because if you're just a driver, then it doesn't matter, right? All you lost was the ability to give rides.
Gotcha. Thanks for clearing that up. I know we had some folks that were asking some questions about that.
No problem. I mean, it's great questions. They're great questions.
Hey, David, this is Bitcoin Rodney again, and I'm asking a question based upon I'm receiving text as well, and they're asking. The one lady asked me earlier about to maximize the comp plan is your person must pay $349. But do they have to drive for 18 months straight in order to receive those benefits to maximize the comp?
No, the only thing that they have to either drive or have somebody driving for them, right? We allow that, is for the stock options. That's it. Nothing else. So nothing related to compensation.
So, for example, and maybe you just answered it, but maybe I'm a little slow because I'm not as smart as you two. Jeremy just started to the group here.
More than us.
So let's say that I want the stock options and I'm building a huge team and I want to maximize the comp plan, but I have a car to drive or give anyone. Are you saying I can't maximize the comp plan now because
you're asking 2 things. So the comp plan is not related to the stock options.
Okay.
Make sense?
Gotcha.
Hey, there are 2 different things. The comp plan is what I showed you guys here as far as payment. Stock options is a bonus that you can earn by doing X amount of things. You follow me?
Gotcha.
So you could have essentially very little downline, very little commissions, and earn a ton of stock options because you're giving rides full time. You're sharing the app like crazy. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things like that. We'll have a document coming out for the stock options, but they're not related.
Also, sharing the app can get you into getting the stock options too. Is correct.
So essentially, there are several things. I mean, stock options is a big deal, right? I mean, look at what Uber and Lyft could be worth now. They're going public. A lot of people don't even, thinking of the future. They care about now, but we're giving the options for both. You can take care of now and the future, right? So, but we don't want people that really doesn't understand, it doesn't feel, it doesn't help us to have ownership. It doesn't make any sense, right? So there are a few things that you have to do, nothing crazy, right? That you have to qualify for every month in order to be receiving those stock options, which one of them you have to maintain as a driver for 18 months. So those stock options will vest, that they become yours fully. And so again, we can do a complete another call on that, but I'll kind of give you just a high level overview. One of the criteria is that you have to be, again, driving for 18 months. If you quit between these 18 months, you lose your stock options, okay? So that's called vesting. It's a vesting schedule, okay? The other thing is you have to be a driver influencer, of course, so that's one of them. You have to give at least 20 rides a month. Doesn't have to be you. Our system, in fact, allows you to, remember, you're a business owner, right? Our system allows you can have 1 car per membership, but you'll be able to have up to 3 drivers working for you personally on your membership, right? So let's say you have 3 cousins who do not have a car, right? But they have, good license record and, and whatnot, and you want to set them up to drive your car 24/7. You will be able to do that. Again, you're running a business, right? We're providing you the technology for that. And obviously, that qualifies you as far as minimum 20 rides a month. Your car will be riding. Think about the amount of stock options you can earn from that if you have a car out on the streets 24/7. because you earn per drive that you give. You get some options, right? Every positive feedback you get options. Every app you share, you get options. So those are the main things. And the other one is that you have to recruit at least one driver a quarter. It's not even like a month, So 4 drivers a year. So you will have recruited 6 drivers over the 18-month period. So you see, so it's nothing crazy, Let's give you an idea. The average driver out there does 160 rides a month. We're only requiring 20, but everything extra that you do also counts. So you follow me? But those are for people who are, again, they see the value, they want to help. And why we incentivize it like that? Because we have such a lucrative referral program. We don't want people just referring. We want people actually taking, giving rides. Otherwise, we have no business. Follow me? So It has to be a combination of everything.
Well, go ahead and go over the Tryp rank advancement bonus you have right here.
So what do you get as you grow your business here with us? So the first thing that you get is once you get to the $2,000 level, you make a $500 bonus one time. Once you get to the 5K, you get a $1,500 one time. Once you get to the 10K, you get a $5,000 one time. Okay, you must maintain these ranks for 3 months to qualify. Okay, now the next one is I believe that once you're making $10,000 a month consistently, you're not having money problems anymore. There's very few zip codes you cannot live on $10,000 a month, right? So we want to introduce the Tryp experience, which now is ability for you to actually get out there and live life, right? A lot of people make money, they focus on the money, but they're not doing anything, to enjoy their families, create moments and things like that. So that's why once you get to the $25,000 level, we'll send you out, you and your spouse, for a long weekend, everything paid for on exotic locations and things like that. Really cool. Everything, you have to maintain this for 4 months to qualify. The next up, this is going to be one of the hottest one, I believe. It's the Tryp Experience Cruise. This will be, a 10-day, 14-day, whatever it takes, so that you and your family go out on this. 4 people, everything paid for, right? Airfares, the cruise, everything taken care of. And you have to be there for 4 months to qualify. The next one up is the Tryp electric vehicle. Once you get to 100K level, you will get a Model 3 or compatible electric vehicle at that time. And this is not a pink slip in your hands. It will be a paid in full lease of 3 years. Okay, but you don't owe any payments like a lot of companies do that. You once you earn this, you got yours, is yours. You have to maintain it for 6 months to qualify. And the reason we do a lease is because the next one up, you actually get in this car for free. It's the electric vehicle, luxury vehicle. It's $100,000 car plus or something similar to that. And you're getting this car 100% free. Pink slip in your hands, right? It's an upgrade from the other one that you had. So, and then the final one is, this is, again, when I was designing this, I got to tell you, like, for example, I have that previous car. It's to me, it's the best car out there. That's why I put the car out there. I was designing this thinking, what would I love to receive as a bonus as I achieve this brings? Make sense? I was really putting myself in people's shoes, and this one here is just so amazing. I mean, I would love to win a trip all around the world. Who wouldn't, right? So once you get to the top level, you actually will get a first-class trip all around the world to exotic locations and everything paid for. You just be there for 9 months, and it's all yours. So
I want that all around the world trip. I love
I want that too. And why do we do it like that, right? And the getaway to the cruise to this one is that, and we'll have on those, we'll set it up so you're not alone, right? Just everybody who qualified at that time goes together, and we'll have photographers, videographers, out there creating content for you, right? So that when you come back from the trips, you have all this amazing, professional content to help you promote your business even more to the next level, to lifestyle and all that we all know everybody wants. So very exciting things.
Hey,
go ahead.
So David, keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring it up here, the 4 levels that we talked about. So again, we have the app user who's free. We have the driver. We have the influencer, right? And we have the driver influencer with your initial fees to set up and get started, as well as the monthly fee once the markets are open.
Okay, tell me this. So in order for me to open up the Washington, D.C., Maryland area, all I need to have is about 3,000 or 4,000 people in the D.C., Maryland area sign up as a driver.
A driver, exactly.
All right, got it. So what I want to do right now, because there is a few people on here that want to at least voice their question or opinion directly to you, because maybe we haven't done a good job for them. So excuse me, if anyone is on the call right now, I'm giving you a chance right now to ask David a question that maybe you weren't so clear at, so you can get a good answer for yourself. Is that okay with you, David?
Yes, that's fine. I have another 15 minutes here.
Okay, great. So if you're there, unmute yourself right quick. Let me know your name and where you're calling from or where you're viewing from, and ask the question quickly, please. The word was quickly. Well, maybe David does a great job that there is no more questions for them to ask you. So when and how long before the app will be ready for people to start to download and be somewhat active?
Yeah, we're now in the process of redoing a lot of the UI, the user experience of the app designs. The reason I decided to do that now is because we have some time. We don't have enough drivers in any city yet. So I wanted to deliver a better, even better product to the people. So I would assume that we'll start a little beta here with some drivers in about 3 to 4 weeks, and release to the Apple Store right after that.
Okay, so this app will be available in Apple and also Android at the same time, or one or the other?
Yeah, yes, both. Yeah, both. You might be like a day variation between the two releasing it, but we'll submit to both at the same time.
And if I'm not mistaken, because I could be, will people be able to pay for their rides with crypto or receive payments in crypto?
Well, not through Tryp ourselves, but we are, partnering up with an amazing company called Mobi that will provide that ability as well. So yes.
Okay. All right, great. Let's see if I have any more questions myself. So, guys, we've gone through a lot here. We've asked a lot of the hard questions. Who is your? I won't say who. Do you guys have an incredible legal counsel backing you up as well, as far as insurance? Because the people want to know how stable is this company as we go along here.
Yeah, great question. We actually have 3 groups representing us for different areas. On our website, tryprides.com actually shows there our corporate, not corporate, but our contractual law firm that works with us for all the big corporate stuff. We have 2 internal attorneys in our team, as well as we have for the affiliate side, we have one of the top, network marketing attorneys, affiliate attorneys in the world called Kevin Thompson, representing us on that side.
Yes, I do know Kevin Thompson. He's a great guy. He knows the MLM space very, very, very well. So one of the most exciting things that I heard you say in the past, based upon this comp plan, is that we'll be able to get paid through Infinity. Am I correct? Was that true?
Exactly. It's rank. The levels don't matter. What matters is the amount of people. So the cap is 24,000 people. It doesn't matter what ranks they are. It doesn't wash out. I mean, you got paid. Those people are right there for you as long as you qualify. Okay.
How fast do you think somebody can actually hit 24,000 or 25,000 drivers in a city? Doesn't that multiply pretty quick once the word gets out?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I've seen things go out, just get out of control on nothing related to this, just because they had the viral nature of exciting app or program. And I've seen, thousands and hundreds of thousands of people join, projects like this in a very fast pace. So people that are connecting to you, I'm sure that they'll reap a lot of benefits of being your downline, because I know you go to work, you and Jeremy, and I wouldn't be surprised if you guys kind of create a record here.
Now that brings it to my next question. So number one, I want to be very, very smart with the individuals here on this call. number one, whoever invited you to this call, be sure you get back to that person that referred you to this call as well. And Jeremy and David, I want you to tell me or tell the viewers before you go, the position that myself and Jeremy are in right now with the position that we have with Tryp. How do you think this spillover would be, and how do people on our team get paid off the spillover that we create for them?
Yeah, so great question. Well, we are only working with a few people, right? And we have, like, the company is part of the tree, right? Just so that we can do this. In fact, once we start doing our marketing and whatnot, and a lot of people coming in through the company's efforts, we have to place them someplace, right? Somewhere in a tree. And you guys have an amazing positioning right next to us, working directly with corporate. And so, yeah, I mean, people couldn't be in a better spot.
Now, brings it to my next question. Guys, just so you know, we have something called a holding tank hooked up to this actual comp plan where we can place you in great positions in order to be compensated based upon where you are put. Is that correct, Jeremy and David?
Yes, 100%. The holding tank is one of my favorite features as well. Allows you to really take control over your organization and provide that spillover to people, which is very exciting.
So tell me,
clarify that a little bit more. So the holding tank is for a period of 7 days, correct, David?
Yes. Right now, through this soft launch, we haven't turned on the clock yet on that because a lot of people are still learning how to share the links and giving their sponsor links by accident. So we're doing a lot of housekeeping, in this past couple of weeks. So we decided to turn it off just so that we avoid issues. But yes, ultimately will be 7 days. So as somebody comes in, they'll be sitting on that holding tank for 7 days, so that you can take charge and position them any way you want in your team. But if you forget, you're busy, or you don't care less, after 7 days, they will be positioned on it as a forced matrix situation, so that if you're a big leader, you can help your people under you, because you're gonna have to put people somewhere, right? And the forced matrix it's powerful as well.
Right on, guys. So kind of picture a forced matrix meets a trinary, if you would. It's super powerful.
Oh yeah. So hey, look. So one more question that has bothered some individuals, and I've gotten this question probably over 200 times so far. People who have been signing up individuals, but they can't see them yet in their back office.
Well, the reason being is a lot of these people probably are riders themselves. They haven't upgraded. So you see them as an influencer.
All right, so let's say that somebody signed up as a rider. They started handing out their link, and now they're on this call. They realize, oh, crap, I need to go upgrade and become an influencer. The people that they already shared it with, obviously, those people are going to show up at that point. Is that correct?
Yes, they're all sitting in the influencer hub. They're just not have access to it.
So okay. once they pay the $149, then they're able to see them in their downline in the back office. Am I correct?
Exactly, because the downline is for the influencers, right? The riders are just referring the app to make money, and they're connected to them, and they'll get reporting and all that. But we don't provide that data to them, because it just doesn't make any sense. No company does when you're just a free rider. All you know is you got a referral.
Okay, great.
We'll provide numbers. We'll give, like, for example, how many referrals you have. Boom, X. 10, 20, you know what I mean? 50, things like that. We'll provide that data.
Okay, great. David and Jeremy, I'm going to conclude this actual Zoom. The guys on here, you've been wonderful. Jeremy, David, you've done a great job of explaining a lot of the questions that people had about the back office, about the app, about the comp plan. You've gone through from A through Z. We already have a part 1 to this. It also explains what Tryp is and how exciting it is. This is part 2. Guys who are on there, have you thought did David do a great job at explaining this comp plan to you? Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, next time we have to do this meeting on Jeremy's backyard, man. Where is that?
He's in Texas somewhere. I'm in a hotel in LA where it's raining outside. All right, guys. Hey, David, I'm gonna give it to you as soon as I get off this call. Jeremy, I'll give you a call as soon as I get done with this. Thank you, everyone, for attending this Zoom. I will have this Zoom up on YouTube within the next 30 to 45 minutes. Thank you for coming. Please get back to the person who referred you to this actually video. If you're watching this video on YouTube, make sure you click like in the comment or question, and I shall get back to you as soon as possible. Peace. It's Bitcoin Rodney signing out, and Jeremy and David.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you having me. Take care.